some things are just too funny not to comment on. And one of them happened recently in the American state of Utah, which is the Mormon state. Very, very religious state, renowned for its right wing religious orthodoxy. The Latter day Saints, of course, are based in Mormon. That's where the main Mormon, in Utah, that's where the main Mormon temple is. Um, it's where the Mormons eventually settled, having been kicked out of a number of other parts of America. Um, and in keeping with the very, very devout nature of the state legislature in Utah has passed a law last year in 2022. They passed a law that banned from schools and school libraries any books that contained things they thought were unsuitable for children, things like sexual violence, rape, and murder, brutality, and other forms of violence, and just things that generally weren't particularly suitable for kids. So, stories that you wouldn't particularly want read to your children. And a parent complained recently about one of the books that was being passed around the school, and it was considered by the Utah Education Board, and they have subsequently banned this book because of its graphic descriptions of genocide and brute violence, like taking infants and smashing their heads against walls, and mass capture of girls to be used as sexual slaves, and awful, awful things in this book. And the book that actually encourages these things, and actually in some cases says that this is what God wants you to do. So of course they've banned the King James Version of the Holy Bible. Because it's right, it's pretty nasty stuff. And of course that stuff's in all the other versions too, so I have to wonder how long it'll be before they ban the NIV or the Good News Bible or the New American Version or the whatever illustrated. All of these versions of the Bible still contain the same awful stuff. Are they going to ban them all? See, this is what happens, as my mate Pete said. Pete's the guy who sent me the news article that alerted me to this. And as Pete so rightly points out, this is what happens when you try to take control of everybody else's ability to access information. When you try to censor others according to your own rules, somebody's going to find a loophole somewhere. And this actually is precisely what's happened, because these ultra-orthodox Mormons, Latter-day Saints, wanted to prevent people from reading secular stuff. They've actually had to then accept that they can't read quite a lot of their religious stuff. I'll be interested to see what happens when people start talking about the Book of Mormon and the Pearl of Great Price, and the Doctrine and Covenants of the Church of Latter-day Saints, because there's an awful lot of really nasty stuff in there, including sexual abuse and including murder and all sorts of stuff. And I just wonder, when you get things like the quote from Brigham Young, who says that if a white man and a black woman lie together, then they should both be killed and their bodies burned, so that the smoke rises up to heaven, where it is delightsome to the Lord. Or where he talks about how if a black man works really, really hard at being good and faithful and a good Mormon, he will be made white and delightsome to the Lord. So I think once they start looking at the racism and the sexual abuse and the murders in their own books, they might even have to ban those. Now, wouldn't that be funny? Anyway, I'm Stuart Sorensen, and this is the God-Free Guide. Thank you for listening. If you've enjoyed this and you'd like to help me out a little bit, I'll be very grateful if you'd like the channel, or even the video, and share this stuff around. The channel is growing quite slowly, but it is growing. I would be very grateful for any help to grow it further. Thank you very much.